friends, and welcome back to the kitchen. Let me tell you what I'm still doing in the kitchen. Pressure canner has chili in there, and I am getting ready to make some meatballs so that I can fry them and freeze them. So I thought I would bring you along. Almost forgot. So I have onion in here. I have garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, basil. I just put the onions in, and I'm going to chop up some garlic and put some fresh garlic in here as well. And we're going to start rolling a bunch of meatballs. This is all grass-fed ground meat, and then I'm going to put veal and pork. I'm going to add that into the inside. So let me grab some garlic. I have some garlic that's frozen. I'll just dice it up real quick. Okay, so instead of using, this is like the videos will be broken, but this is a big bulk cooking all in one day. I don't know if you've ever seen the video or heard me talk about it. This is one way I preserved garlic. Instead of me pulling out my frozen garlic, the full clove, I'm going to just use a square of this. The video's on my channel if you want to see it. I have them cut to proportion. And then I'm just going to crumble it up. My fingers, it literally like melts in your fingers. So I'm going to do 2 of these little squares of garlic in with the ground meat and the herbs. But I wasn't sure if I should have made this one video or break it into pieces, and I'm just going to patch it all together. Bear with me. I'm trying to get a lot of things up, cooked, prepared. Okay, so that was my frozen garlic. It was minced super fine. Like I said, that video is on my channel. Take a look at that. It's an easy way to preserve garlic. Okay, now let me move this down. Say it just like crumbles in your hands, and meatballs are really good with extra garlic in it. Let me get a knife for that. I will mix it all in. I had to put it in the microwave and defrost it, get it out of my freezer. But when I make my meatballs, I usually always use pork, veal, and ground meat. So let me rinse my hands off just really quickly. Okay, so I have that all in there. My hands are super cold today too. I didn't put any salt or any pepper. So let's go in with a little salt. Comes out super fine. A little bit of black pepper, just a little bit. We will see how many meatballs I get. Okay, now I'm going to grab a fresh chicken egg. So I have 2 chicken eggs, just in case if I feel like it needs an extra one. So, the messy job is I have to go in and mix it all, and I'm going to add breadcrumbs. You can put cheese in yours. I've done cheese before as well. But I'm just going to use regular Italian breadcrumbs. And we are going to get in here and get messy, I guess. Actually, Thomas grabbed me some gloves. But before we get into mixing that, so let me explain. So all this has been done in one day. I just wasn't sure whether to leave it as a whole video or break it up. So Let me show you what's going on real fast. I did the big bulk chili. That's what's left for fresh eating right here, which is a good amount. I added the extra leftover beans I had. I put that in there. Chili is, my jars are in there. These are my Tex-Mex mixed beans. They're done out of the canner. I'm waiting for this to come up to pressure so I can then set a timer for 75 minutes. And that's just simmering. And now we're going to move on to meatballs. So just so you know, this was all done in one day. So let's crack a chicken egg. Look how good my chicken eggs look. We're going to start off with that. And we're just going to go in and we're just going to start mixing. I probably should have put the other glue in too. We're going to start mixing the ground meat in with the pork and veal. It's thoroughly incorporated, so it takes a minute. You want to get the garlic, the onions all equally distributed. So get on in there and get it mixed up. Sometimes I fry my meatballs and other times I just drop them right into sauce. But these I might be frying for quick eating in the freezer. I'm going to try to do really even meatballs as best as possible. But you can always get out a scale and measure your meatballs. Okay, I think I'm going to go in with one more egg because sometimes when you have chickens, the egg sizes are all different. We're going to go in with another egg. Usually, I would say crack it into another bowl, but I didn't do it this time. We're going to get this egg mixed in. It's like been a full day of preparing food. So I may end up frying these on a cookie sheet in the oven or doing them on the stove top as soon as I move something off of it, like the chili or something like that. Especially if you added all your spices like I did in advance, you want to make sure it's through everything. And now I'm going to go in with some breadcrumbs. Okay, now I'm just going to sprinkle some breadcrumbs on the top. Not a ton. Enough to bind it together. You can do homemade breadcrumbs if you have extra bread. So, I want to say this is about 7 pounds of ground meat, I think it is. The whole big meat, ground meat that I purchased cost me like $35, and I think it was a total of 10 pounds. I might have said that wrong in my other video. No, actually that's wrong. It was more than 10 pounds, but I didn't think to turn on the camera and show you what I purchased at Sam's. I probably should start doing that again. And I'm going to go in with a little bit more breadcrumbs. Just getting a little slippery. You can use some Parmesan cheese in here if you like as well. I'm not going to. Okay, now I have to figure out what I'm rolling them on and what I'm planning on frying them in, besides some olive oil. Oops, a little bit of olive oil, but this is good to go. Let me find a pan and we're going to start rolling out some meatballs. Okay, so I was getting ready to roll the meatballs and my pressure canner started whistling a high-pitched noise. So I've only ever had that happen to me one time, and it said the pot was too hot. So I turned it off. I'm going to let it come down completely from pressure, and then I'm going to restart it all over again because my chili's in there. So yeah, it was making an annoying high-pitched noise again. Just not as bad as it originally did to me my very first time. So it wasn't even all the way up to pressure. You can see that. I pushed it off the burner. I'm going to let it completely come down. I'm going to open the lid, check everything out, and then I'm going to restart it, 10-minute vent, and then restart the heat. I don't know, maybe the heat was up too high. I don't know. So I thought I would fill you in on that. This is the pan that I'm going to use. I have to dry it because I just washed it. We're going to roll all the meatballs and put them on there. So let me sit you here. I dry the pan. Yeah, I can't believe I'm going to have to start that all over again, but it's better to be safe than be sorry. I'm going to put some olive oil on the cookie sheet that I just dried. Not a lot. Enough to spread it around so the meatballs don't stick, and not too much oil. Okay, that should be good. Just do a touch more.
You can use parchment paper.
Yeah, Thomas just said I could use parchment paper, but it should be okay. I didn't think of it, so. Just thinking about frying meatballs, and that's the easiest way to fry them is in the oven. So I'm not going to bother to use that glove anymore because my fingers warmed up a little bit. And you know, that's why they make soap and water. But it was a little bit big on my hand and good enough for me to mix all the meat. So I'm just going to start rolling some normal sized meatballs. Like I said, if you want to be that particular, you can get out a scale and weigh each one. I'm not trying to worry about it that much. But I'm trying to get a decent amount of meatballs from out of that second pack of meat that I separated. Thomas and I had pizza last night. It looks like, what, you're having pizza again tonight?
Yep.
There's chili on the stove, but I guess he's just going to eat leftover pizza.
Chili's the next day.
I don't know. Chili is good any day. He says chili's good the next day, which it is leftover, but. Okay, let's keep rolling. I won't bore you too long. I'll roll the rest on my own. But for now, I'm just showing you how I roll them. That one's a little bit bigger. So. If you're not going to use the scale, you're not going to get identical size meatballs. You can also use one of those ice cream scoopers that I have and scoop it out that way, but nah, we'll use what God gave us, and that's our hands. I just don't feel like cleaning up the stove now that my pressure canner has to come down in temp and be completely done, just so that I can restart the process all over again. So, it's a little scary when it happens, but it's fine. Just take it off the heat, let it come down in pressure, and then recan it all over again. Yeah, this one's definitely bigger. It's okay. But it's been a long day, long week actually, because I did the chickens. That was 2 days worth of work, and today I'm just banging out multiple things. Tex-Mex beans, homemade chili, big bulk so I can can some, and of course you have to share around here, so I added the rest of the extra beans I had into it to make it stretch, so that they could have some to eat. And then I jarred up the chili that I need to have. I mean, I could have just jarred it all up, but he already told her on the phone, like, oh, Mel's making chili. Well, now I have to share. So yeah, the jars are in the canner, and now we moved on to meatballs. And then I was hoping, because today's Saturday, I was hoping to have practically everything I wanted to get done, because Jean's away, but my turkey, I didn't take it out. So that may be the one thing that I do this week. If I'm learning anything by doing all this, is one thing at a time. So I will take the turkey out, let it thaw, check Jean's schedule, and make sure there's 2 days back to back where she'll be at work, so I won't be in her way. And I will do the turkey. I'm going to end up roasting it in the oven, and I'm going to put chicken in the jar with broth, and probably some turkey soup. So this will be it from me today. After I get all these meatballs fried, I will let them cool. I'll put a few in the fridge. I have a lasagna recipe on my channel, but I don't have the no-bake shell one on my channel. So if I end up making a lasagna like for a Sunday dinner or something like that, I will do that as well, because I did buy the cheese and the ricotta. I almost forgot about that, to assemble a lasagna. So if and when I do that, I will turn these back on. I thought she has a frozen lasagna in the freezer downstairs. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask Thomas. But there they go. They look great. Okay, so I just rolled a bunch. Let me wash my hands real quickly so I can show you the pan, and I have to preheat the oven. Okay, so let me show you the pan full of meatballs. And right now I'm going to preheat the oven at 350. This is down in pressure. So we're going to have to do a couple things together on here. This is down in pressure. So I pull the pot back forward, hit start, oven's on 350. Get this out of here so I can put my pan in here. Probably going to raise this rack up, so hold on, folks. Okay, so I put the rack into the middle, and now I have to let that preheat. So let's go over here and let me check out and see what's going on. Let's give the chili a stir. This is going to get ready to go into a bowl soon to cool the rest of the way. So let's move that back. Let me raise you up to the canner so we can start this all over again. I'm going to take the weight off. Open up the lid. Okay. Looks pretty good. I'm checking the seal out. And all I'm going to do is add a tiny bit more water into that pot. Just like a quarter. In case I make the water level go down. Just about that much. That's not even half. Just in case any of the water evaporated out from the steam. Everything looks good. I just may have to bring it up a lot slower. The seal looks good, but while I'm here doing this, I'm going to take my seal off and I'm going to rub a little bit of oil on it, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I just took a little bit of oil and I put it on the inside ring. I took the ring out. That's what I did the last time. And now let's try this again. I'm going to put the lid on. Let me double check the seal. Everything looks good. Because I used it. Okay, I'll put the lid back on. And now I'm going to put it on low and start bringing it up to temperature until it vents for 10 minutes. Okay, so I know this is not originally my video, it's my canner, but I have it on like about 2.5. It's weird because it goes low, 2, a dot, 8, and high. So I usually, the sweet spot is between that 2 and 3. So I'm going to let that come up to temperature and we'll wait and I'll put that on. Okay, back to the meatballs. Okay, there's all the meatballs. That's what's left right there. I'm going to wait for the oven to preheat. Let me lower you down. I am going to wait for the oven to preheat. We're just going to pop these in on 350 just to brown them, and then I'm going to let them cool. I actually might be able to fit another meatball over here. I'm not used to frying meatballs on a cookie sheet, but that's okay. I usually will fry them up in a pan, or I just drop them in my gravy, rolled and raw, believe it or not. So I can fit one more on this cookie sheet, right there. And I will bring you back and show you me putting them in the oven. Okay, so while I'm just standing here at the current moment, waiting on 2 things, the oven's preheat and my pressure canner pot, I think I might roll these and put them either in a baggie maybe, or I'll have to do a second round. There's not like a ton here, but a good decent bit. And I also have one big baggie left, so I can make the next thing if I want. So I was just debating whether I want to roll more and just do a big batch. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just roast some more meatballs. Don't mind me. I'm all over the place because it's been a busy day. So I guess I'll roll them and finish cooking them. We'll see how these do in the oven. Just waiting on the oven to preheat. Okay, so the oven just beeped that it's preheated. So let me open up the door, put these in, and I'll show you. Okay, my friends, there goes the meatballs in the oven. We're going to start frying them, so I'll bring you back. Okay, so I washed some dishes I cleaned up. That's how many more meatballs I rolled. That was in the pot there. I took the recyclables out, washed the dishes, because it just makes my life easier. And the chili's back on, because a few of the beans were a little bit hard. And I'm waiting for that to do a steady stream, so I can set a timer. And the meatballs are in the oven, looking pretty good. So I will bring you back, I guess, when they're done. Okay, so an update. I turned the oven up to 375 instead of 350 to get them browning a little bit more, but they're looking pretty good. Chili's still on low simmer, and that's going fine so far. So once those meatballs are done, and I have to put those meatballs in. So, I guess hang tight. Okay, so there's the meatballs out of the oven. I had Thomas lift the pan out for me, and now all I have to do is put those in. So I'm going to let these cool fully before I go to put them in a Ziploc baggie. So that's where we're at right now. Okay, so what I'm going to start doing is just putting some on a paper plate lined with paper towels. They look good. I'm going to have to use 2 paper plates. I just wanted to absorb some of the oil, grease, whatever. But I don't want to bore you, so I want to try one. So let me get a fork. The reason why I made big bulk meatballs is to have them on hand, easy to eat. So I'm just going to cup right into one, and it is done. Look at that gloriousness. So super hot. I don't want to burn all my taste buds out of my mouth, but yeah, I wanted to make a bunch of meatballs to have so I can freeze them and pull them out as I need them, even if I'm not here. The meatballs, extra meats and stuff will go to Debbie's. She offered me a shelf in her freezer, so that's awesome. They taste really good. They're absolutely perfect. So, like I said, I'm just gonna put a few on at a time and get the extra grease off. I'll let them cool, and then I'm gonna put them in a Ziploc baggie. So, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more that I need to put into the oven to be completely done with that. This is my second batch of chili that I'm waiting for the noodles, not the noodles, the beans to get a little bit softer, and my pressure canner is just starting to come up into pressure. So, I don't know if you need for me to show you. You can put a piece of parchment paper down in the Ziploc baggie and put meatballs in like that, or you can flash freeze these. I could take these and stick them right in the freezer to cool them off, put them right in a Ziploc baggie. And then you can just pull out as many meatballs as you need, whether it's for lunch or whether it's for dinner. But they look amazing. I have more that I have to get in. So, I guess I'll keep you going. And I'll scoop some more off of here. I'm going to dump the excess off the pan and put the next round of meatballs in. I'll try not to drop any. So, I'll bring it back. Okay, I got them all off. They're on paper towels to get the extra grease off. And now I'm going to go in with the next round of meatballs. Get these done. All the ones that I took off will be for the freezer, and these will be for dinner tomorrow. Okay, so there you have it. That's the last of the meatballs. They are going to go in the oven and cook like I stated, and the other ones are over there on paper towels, and I'm going to stick them in the freezer very quickly. We'll flash freeze them, And then I am going to put them in quart-size Ziploc baggies. I'm not sure how many baggies I'll get, but I don't want to use the container, so I'm definitely going to have to use the baggie. So let me get these in. Okay, so this is how I'm going to store these. I'm just taking meatballs. Parchment paper is a little bit long, but that's okay. Using my hands and a paper towel. These are cold to touch. And this is how I'm going to do the meatballs. And how I'm going to store them, I'm going to lay them flat in the freezer so that they freeze well. And that's my pressure canner you hear in the background. So I guess I'm going to say that's it for my video today. I'm just going to finish putting all the meatballs in layers in 2 different baggies, and I'm going to lay them flat this way in the freezer, and then it won't matter after that. You can move them around. They're going to freeze individually. So long day today for me, so in case you see my other video, I don't know, I might put them all together, but I got a lot done today. 2 batches of chili, Tex-Mex beans, meatballs, and yeah. So, I'm Melody, this is Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It. Let me grab my other plate of meatballs. I hope that you enjoyed this video of me just trying to get some bulk items up for quick food, fast eating, whether it's canning, whether it's, you know, doing something like meatballs in a bigger bulk in the oven and then letting them cool, and then freezing them. You will have these to be able to just pull out like 2 if you're like me. And yeah, so that's going to work out good for me. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm going to sit you right here 1 second. Okay. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you're new here, maybe think about subscribing. And when I go to do my turkey, which will be turkey in the jar and turkey soup, the pressure can, I'll bring you back for that. And if I make the no-bake shell lasagna, I'll bring you back for that. But I love y'all. This has been a fun-filled day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye, everyone.